Okay, so we were discussing about the steps in the process of planning. So I think first step we discussed that was setting the objectives, and that is the first step. What we want to do, what we want to achieve, what goals or objectives we want to achieve, that we have to decide. Then second step was developing planning premises. Planning premises are the basis of planning. So whenever we set an objective or goal that is based on certain assumption, and that assumption is known as the planning premise. So we have to set the planning premises. And for example, as I said that if a company is setting objective or goal for year 2020-21 marketing target they are setting, and they are setting the target of selling suppose 3 lakh units in this year. So how did they come to uh, set 3 lakh units as a target? What is the basis behind their belief that we could be able to sell 3 lakh units in this year? So that is whatever is the reason that will be considered as planning premise or assumption or basis of planning. Maybe they analyze the sales of past few years and they found that every year their sales is increasing by 10% or 20%. So in the previous year, the sales was of 2 lakh 50,000 units. So if 20% increase will be there, then this year the sales will be 3 lakh units. So this way, that can be the assumption of planning premise. So their planning is based on this assumption, and that is the 20% increase in sales every year. Are you understanding? So that is the first thing. So many other things may be there. Some company may assume that because suppose there is a pharmaceutical company and a pharmaceutical company is setting its profit target for the next year. Then in setting the profit target for the next year, their plan may be based on the assumption that because of this pandemic season, corona season, there will be huge demand for this product of pharmaceutical companies. So because of huge demand for pharma products, definitely the sales will increase. And if sales will increase, surely our profit will increase. So that way they can set it objective target of higher profit. So that is called as planning premise or assumption on which a plan is based. Okay. So that is considered as planning premise. Then after developing planning premises, we have to list out the different alternative ways by which these objectives can be achieved. So listing the alternative ways, this can be done by this way, this way. So there may be many methods or ways of achieving the objectives or goals. Each way or each method may have its own merits and demerits. So we keep on listing whatever methods or ways are available to achieve the objectives or goals. Then after listing these different alternative course of actions, we analyze each course of action on the basis of their merits and demerits, or we can say we make a comparative study of different alternative course of actions. So we can judge that which one is the best or which one is the most suitable course of action for us. So that is the fourth step in the process of planning. So first one was setting the objectives or goals. Second one is developing the planning premises. That is making assumptions on which the plan will be based. Third one is the listing out the alternative course of actions by which we can reach to the destination, which are helpful in achieving the objectives. By using them, we can achieve our objectives or goals. Then fourth one is analyzing uh, alternative course of actions on the basis of their relative merits and demerits. That this course of action, if we will go by this way, then there will be these merits or advantages, and these will be the disadvantages. Then we select the best alternative, choosing the best course of action that is best for us. It may not be the best of others, but by seeing the conditions or resources available in our business, we have to select the most appropriate course of action. That is the real decision making process in the real decision making step in the process of planning. So here it involves decision making. In the features of planning we discussed, planning involves decision making. So when we select any one alternative, any one course of action out of many alternative course of actions, that is called as decision making. Now after deciding this plan is implemented. Its plan is put into action. This plan is being communicated to all departments, all people working in the organization. It is communicated, it is clarified. What is the meaning of different steps? What is the meaning of its objectives in concrete terms? That is being explained to each and everyone working in the organization. So each and every department and person can contribute in achieving the planned objectives or planned targets. Then after implementing the plan, when the time of uh, plan is implemented, time and again we have to keep on observing whether the work is going on according to the plan. That is called follow up action. It is the monitoring the progress of the plan, whether the plan is going smoothly or not, or there are certain problems, so they can be removed and set targets can be achieved or goals can be achieved. So that is called follow-up action. So follow-up is very necessary. Without follow-up, the plan may be ineffective or it may not be implemented in a real sense. So that way, this planning process is completed. Okay. So we discuss in this chapter meaning of planning, features, merits and demerits, and planning process. Remaining topics of this planning chapter are being deleted in the revised curriculum. So today again I am showing you video that maybe if it is clear, I have inserted the speakers in my laptop. So today maybe it will work better. So let us see that video. That will bring more clarity. Is it visible to you, Sairam? Sairam,
Yes, sir.
Sairam,
Yes,
is it
sir.
visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now let me play it and tell me is it audible or not. That is the main problem.
Will almost certainly ensure failure. Planning can be summarized in 3 easy steps. After wandering around in a dazed state for more than a week, the starving princess came upon a small hut. She fainted at the door. When she awoke, she found herself in a hermit's hut. She narrated her story to the hermit.
Daughter, you have suffered grievously. What do you propose to do?
Sir, I'm helpless. Please help me regain my kingdom.
Arise, daughter. I will help you. We need to formulate a plan.
Plans?
Yes. Don't you want to punish the vizier and get back your kingdom?
Is it audible or not?
Yes, sir, it is audible,
Audible.
sir.
Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
Yes,
let us
sir.
continue with this. So this is the whole summary of the planning chapter. Sairam.
Sairam, sir.
Sairam. So I am again presenting. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
After wandering around in a dazed state for more than a week, the starving princess came upon a small hut. She fainted at the door. When she awoke, she found herself in a hermit's hut.
Is it audible?
She narrated her story to the hermit.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Daughter, you have suffered grievously. What do you propose to do?
Sir, I'm helpless. Please help me regain my kingdom.
Arise, daughter. I will help you. We need to formulate a plan.
So this is the objective, to regain the kingdom. है ना? Here the plan set is to regain the kingdom.
Plans?
Yes. Don't you want to punish the vizier and get back your kingdom?
Thus began the princess's training. On the first day, the hermit asked her some questions.
Where are we presently?
In the forest.
Where do you want to be?
In my kingdom. Ruling over it.
How do you plan to get over there?
Was silent. The hermit smiled. This is where you will learn about planning.
Sir, the audio is cutting.
What is a plan? Planning is a process for accomplishing purpose. It is a blueprint of business growth and a roadmap for development. It helps.
So planning is the process of deciding in advance what to do, how to do. है ना? Sairam.
Sir, the audio is not clear, sir.
Audio not clear. That is the problem. That's why I'm trying to solve. तो इसको कम करूं तो शायद हो जाएगा. हाँ, देखते हैं. इसकी S2 अब देखते हैं. ठीक है.
Deciding objectives, both in quantitative and qualitative terms. According to Coons and O'Donnell, planning is deciding in advance what to do, how to do, and who is to do it. Planning bridges the gap between where we are to where we want to go. It makes possible.
So this is the meaning of planning. It's a process of deciding in advance what to do, when to do, how to do. So it's a link between present and future. No? So it is a linking pin between where we are and where we want to go.
Things to occur which would not otherwise occur. What should a plan be? A plan should be a realistic view of the expectations. Depending upon the activities, a plan can be long range, intermediate range, or short range.
This is explaining about types of plans on the basis of period. The plans may be of 3 types on the basis of period, that though it is not in our syllabus for this year. Long-term plans, mid-term plans, and short-term plans. Long-term plans are plans for more than 3 years, 4, 5 years, 10 years, that is a long-term plan. Short-term plans are planned for up to 1 year, and mid-term plans are plans for 1 to 3 years. So there are 3 categories of plans: long-term plans, mid-term plans, and short-term plans. It is classified as standing plans and single-use plans also. Long-term plans are normally considered as standing plans, which are repeated continuously for many years, and single-use plans are for a short period of time. After that, a new plan is to be prepared.
It is the framework within which it must operate. For management seeking external support, the plan is the most important document and key to growth. Preparation of a comprehensive plan will not guarantee success, but lack of a sound plan will almost certainly ensure failure. Planning can be summarized in 3 easy steps. 1. Choosing a destination. 2. Evaluating alternative routes. And 3. Deciding the specific course of your plan.
These are the steps we just discussed. Choosing the destination means setting the objectives or goals. Then we discuss, we set the planning premise, then we list out the alternative course of actions. And after listing alternative course of actions, we evaluate alternative course of actions. Then we decide that which specific course of action we have to follow.
Why is it important to have a plan? It is important to prepare a plan, keeping in view the necessities of the enterprise. A plan is an important aspect of business. It serves the following 3 critical functions. Planning helps management to clarify, focus, and research their businesses or projects' development and prospects. Planning provides a logical framework within which a business can develop and pursue business strategies over the next 3 to 5 years. Planning offers a benchmark against which actual performance can be measured. And
So this is explaining the importance of planning. Why is planning important? So planning focuses on achieving the objectives. We discussed planning helps in measuring the results. It's a basis of controlling. That it is explaining.
reviewed. Features of planning. Planning is a process rather than behavior at a given point of time. Planning is future oriented. Planning is undertaken at all levels of the organization.
This we have discussed in the features of planning. Planning is a process because it passes through many steps. Planning is a future oriented and a futuristic in nature. Planning is all pervasive that we discuss. It is undertaken at all levels, top level, middle level, as well as in all types of organizations. That's why planning is called as all pervasive.
Planning is flexible as commitment is based on future conditions which are always dynamic. Hence, plans have to be changed in accordance with the changed conditions. Planning is a pervasive and continuous managerial function involving complex processes of perception, analysis, conceptual thought, communication, decision, and action. Planning is always goal-directed. A manager cannot plan anything unless he knows what he wants to achieve. Planning is the primary function of management, as every activity needs to be planned before it is actually performed. In other words, planning precedes all other managerial functions and
This also we discussed. Planning is a primary function of management, or first function of management, as all other activities of management begins after making the plans. Okay, and we have to plan each and every activity without which work cannot be done.
provides the very basis for organizing, staffing, directing, and controlling. Planning basically involves making choices. Need for
This choices means that just we discussed out of many alternative course of actions, we have to select one course of action or one way. That's why it is called making of choices.
सर
planning arises when
Yes, please. हाँ
goals
बोलो.
are
सर ऑडियो बिल्कुल भी क्लियर नहीं है सर।
बिल्कुल क्लियर नहीं है. चलो ठीक है, अभी
Yes,
देखते हैं
sir.
इसमें चलता है. बंद करते नहीं तो फिर इसको. इसके अलावा कुछ हो नहीं सकता. मैंने स्पीकर भी लगा दिया इसमें और इसके बाद भी नहीं चल रहा है. एक मिनट स्पीकर हटा के देखता हूँ फिर देखो क्या होता है.
objectives are many,
अभी वैसे ही है कि खराब हुआ पहले से.
and alternatives to achieve them are also plenty.
सर
While
क्लियर है।
आप क्लियर है?
यस सर।
तो मैं स्पीकर हटा देता
Yes,
हूँ.
sir.
planning,
Ah.
alternatives are evaluated and a choice is made regarding which course of action
क्लियर है ना अभी?
यस सर।
Yes, sir.
हाँ ठीक है. चलो.
is to be followed.
For instance, princes, you have the choice to either capture your kingdom or live in exile. Since you have decided to capture your
So this is the example he is giving, that is this princess has two options. Either she can go for recapture her kingdom or she can go for exile. है ना? So both have its own merits and demerits or advantage and disadvantage. So now she has to select one of these two alternative course of actions referred here.
kingdom, you can decide from amongst various alternatives how to go about it. Choice 1. You can claim the help of other kings who are your sympathizers. Choice 2. Your erstwhile subjects can help you. Choice 3. You can petition the UN or other NGOs to help you.
Sir,
So now it is listing out the alternative course. If princess decide to go back, get the kingdom. So one option is that she can take help of the other kingdoms. Second is she can go for UNO, or she can take help of the common people, subjects of the princess.
why is planning so important?
The ancients have always said, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. Napoleon Hill has said, create a definite plan for carrying out your desire and begin at once, whether you are ready or not, to put this plan into action.
This very simple quote encapsulates the importance of planning. Planning is the cornerstone of the management function. Planning helps in bridging the gap between the present and future course of action.
Princes, now I will narrate to you the importance of the benefits of planning.
Importance and benefits of planning. Let us have a quick look at the benefits of planning. Planning reduces uncertainty, risk, and confusion in operation. Planning guides the decision-making by the managers. Planning helps in achieving coordination and facilitates control. Planning with an element of flexibility makes the organization capable of coping with the changing environment and facing challenges. Planning leads to economy and efficiency in operations. Planning begins with the determination of objectives. Limitations of planning. Planning can minimize the risk but cannot eliminate the risk.
This we have discussed that planning is not the guarantee of success. By making the plans, though we can minimize the risk, we are more aware, but the risk is always there. Any unforeseen thing can happen, and that can make our plan fail.
The success of planning depends to a great deal on authenticity of information and external and internal variables over which the planner has no control. Planning is the big process, so it is very time consuming and money
Earlier was
consuming.
external limitations, and previous limitation was external. Organization has no control over external factors. Change in external environment may make a plan fail. And this is also limitation that we have discussed, that it is a time consuming process and costly process also. It takes a lot of time to make a plan, and it involves a lot of expenditure of money, and sometimes the benefits of plan are less than its cost. No. So that is also a limitation of planning.
Planning leads to rigidity.
And this we discuss, once a plan is being set, everyone has to work according to set plans or course of action, and no one is allowed to deviate from that specific course of action. So there is no space for any innovative ideas or any deviation. So it binds all the people in a rigid framework.
Following a pre-decided plan when circumstances have changed may not turn out to be in the organization's interest. Planning may not work in a dynamic environment. The organization has to constantly adapt itself to changes. Planning cannot foresee everything, and thus there may be obstacles to effective planning. Planning reduces creativity. Planning involves huge costs. Planning does not guarantee success. The success of an enterprise is possible only when plans are properly drawn up and implemented. Any plan needs to be translated into action or it becomes meaningless. Essentials of a good plan. The planning
This is not in our syllabus, essentials of good plan, but you can see it, but it is not in our syllabus.
process must be continuous and creative and communicated to the lowest possible level. Planning should be time-bound and exist at all levels in the organization. Planning should not be rigid and should coordinate the efforts of the departments. Planning must have an inbuilt controlling system. People are the essence of planning. This factor should be kept in mind while framing plans.
Monster Math presents Counting to
Okay, so is it clear, Sairam?
Sairam sir.
Sairam, let us see one more video on this planning. Is it not audible now? This is not audible, so let us stop it. Okay, stop, and I have to come back to the meet. Sairam, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
This is the summary of this chapter. This video I think I played because this gives all the details about the topics which we have discussed. So, na? So meaning, features, merits, demerits, and process of planning is being explained here. So now after this, we will start the next chapter of various study, that is the organizing, that is the second function of management. Okay. So here in planning, we decide the objectives, what to do, how to do. At the stage of organizing, it's a process of assembling the resources. human, physical, and financial resources, and establishing a productive relationship among them. So whatever objective we set, for example, someone decide to go for a journey, है ना? Suppose your class has to go to the Puttaparthi, that you could not go, but that suppose that is the objective or goal you set in planning. So that is the plan. You made that we will go to the Puttaparthi. Then after setting this objective, and many things are to be arranged. You have to decide that by which way, which transport means you will go to Puttaparthi. Okay, what essential items you have to carry with you. When you are going to Puttaparthi, then who will be the person who will be looking after or instructing you, taking care of you. Then what will you do after going to that place? How much money should you need to carry with you? So all these things are to be assembled before going for the journey or before achieving the objectives. So that way, organizing is basically the process of assembling of resources which are needed to implement the plans. Without these resources, the plans or objectives cannot be achieved. No? So basically, the resources are classified into categories: human resources and physical resources. Physical resources like machine, money, other things, land, building, everything are physical resources and human resources. So at the stage of organizing, we establish a productive relations between human resources and physical resources or financial resources. So that is the process of organizing that we will discuss in the next class. So Monday is the holiday. I don't have class already. I don't have class in Monday. No class. So Tuesday we will discuss either in both the classes we will discuss accountancy. That is the admission of the partner, or one class accountancy and one class BS. Okay. If you want to ask anything, you can ask by that time. Still we have 2-3 minutes. If you want to ask something, you can ask. Sairam.
Sir,
हाँ जी बोलो सर.
sir, the implementation of the plan is a part of planning.
हाँ इट्स ए पार्ट ऑफ प्लानिंग अंटिल द प्लान इज इट्स इम्प्लीमेंटेशन है. सपोज आपने एक साल के लिए प्लान बनाया तो अभी तो इम्प्लीमेंट किया तो देखोगे ना इट्स ए पार्ट ऑफ दैट इज फॉलो अप एक्शन है ना. इम्प्लीमेंटेशन इज अ पार्ट ऑफ प्लानिंग है ना. इट इज इनबिल्ट इन द प्लान. अदरवाइज प्लान कैन नॉट बी इम्प्लीमेंटेड.
सर
फॉलो
वो
अप
तो
इज
फिर
ऑल्सो पार्ट है ना. यस प्लीज.
सर मॉनिटरिंग और इम्प्लीमेंटिंग में कोई डिफरेंस है?
नहीं इम्प्लीमेंटेशन मीन्स कम्युनिकेशन. बेसिकली यू हैव टू आपने क्या प्लान बनाया लोगों को पता ही नहीं है कि क्या प्लान बनाया है ना. So when you have made the plan that you to communicate to the people and you have to ask the people to work according to the whatever you decided है ना. That is the implementation part. जैसे हम लोगों ने टाइम टेबल बना लिया क्लास का. अब टाइम टेबल मेरे पास रखा हुआ है, टीचर्स को नहीं बताया तो वो क्लास ले सकते हैं कि उसके हिसाब से. सही राम.
नो सर.
टीचर्स टाइम टेबल के हिसाब से क्लास कब ले पाएंगे?
जब प्लान कन्वे होगा.
हाँ जब कन्वे मैं कर दूंगा उनको और अथॉरिटी दूंगा कि आपको इस टाइम पे इस क्लास में पीरियड लेना है. दैट इज इम्प्लीमेंटेशन ऑफ दैट प्लान है ना. और फिर मुझे क्या करना है, फॉलो अप एक्शन में क्या देखना है कि वो क्लासेस जिस टीचर को जो क्लास दी है दैट इज बीइंग टेकन एट दैट टाइम और नॉट. इट इज गोइंग प्रॉपर्ली और नॉट. या कोई क्लास तो नहीं टाइम टेबल में एक ही टाइम पे दो टीचर को तो मैंने क्लास नहीं दे दी है. दैट ऑल प्रॉब्लम्स आर टू बी रिजॉल्व है ना. इफ एनी प्रॉब्लम आर इज देयर देन देयर विल बी डिफिकल्टी इन इम्प्लीमेंटिंग दैट प्लान. ओके. Okay, so you can leave. We will meet on Tuesday. Sai Ram and happy Eid and happy Raksha Bandhan to all of you.